The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East refuted the existence of safe places in Gaza. In Spain, electoral authorities registered a turnout of 26.9% in Sunday's Catalan parliamentary elections. And in Haiti, citizens and police officers demand the resignation and arrest of the country's police chief following a new attack by criminal gangs against the city Port-au-Prince. Hello, welcome from the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Hamas Palestinian resistance has confirmed that its forces are preventing the advancement of the Israeli army. According to leaders of the Hamas Al-Qassam brigades, the resistance caused heavy losses to Tel Aviv's forces in the town of Jabalia and other areas north of Gaza. The resistance confirmed attacks against a concentration of Israeli soldiers attempting to raid the Al-Saytun neighborhood. On their part, the Mujahideen brigades destroyed an Israeli tank with an anti-armor device in the vicinity of Al-Saytun Medical Center, and on Sunday, Israeli media confirmed the death of several soldiers following defeated invasion attempts the day before. Meanwhile, Al-Qassam troops bombarded with grenades several groups of Israeli soldiers who were invading the eastern part of the city of Rafah, and Hamas fired missiles to an Israeli army transport in the vicinity of the border crossing with Egypt as it tried to enter the area. While defending the entrances to the city of Rafah, the resistance is trying to avoid fighting in areas where there may be civilians. On the other hand, the United Nations Department for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, refuted the existence of safe places in Gaza. According to representatives of the United Nations Office for Palestinian Refugees, Israeli claims of safe zones in the Gaza Strip are false and misleading. The UNRWA warned that thousands of Palestinians were forced to leave refuge camps in the city of Rafah after Israeli ordered the evacuation of the city in the face of an imminent attack by its troops. The agency warned that despite Israel's announcements, occupation forces are continuing operations throughout the Gaza Strip, mainly targeting the Nusayrat, Jabalia, and Rafah camps. Also in Palestine, Israeli occupation forces carried out new massacres despite calls by international bodies for an immediate ceasefire. Local media reported that the Tel Aviv regime's troops shelled residential areas in the north, center, and south of the Gaza Strip, killing dozens of innocent civilians. These actions take place despite the fact that the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, called on Sunday for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, which the Israeli army continues to bombard after 7 months. According to a preliminary balance sheet, the current Israeli aggression has resulted in 34,971 Palestinians killed and 78,641 wounded, figures that are expected to be even higher since many of the victims are under the rubble of the buildings that have been destroyed by the Israeli bombardment. Meanwhile, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Middle East reported that at least 300,000 refugees are fleeing the city of Rafah after the start of the Israeli occupation army's ground invasion. The agency criticized the forced and inhumane displacement of the Palestinian people. This also comes at a time when Israeli troops occupied the border crossing that represented the only gateway to Gaza for food, medicine, and fuel. The Palestinian Authorities also denounced the killing of more than 140 journalists and media workers in the framework of the Israeli offensive against the Gaza Strip. The Government Information Office in Gaza explained that the latest victim was a photojournalist who lost his life this Saturday along with his wife and child in a bombardment of his home in the Jabalia refugee camp. According to reports, Israeli forces have targeted dozens of the headquarters of the profession's institutions, including the offices of Al Jazeera, Palestine TV, the Man News Agency, as well as the newspaper Al-Quds and Al-Ayam. The actions against the union have resulted in the murder of 143 Palestinian journalists since October 7, 2023. The Union of Palestinian Journalists criticized the silence of the International Criminal Court in the face of the Israeli aggressions. On Sunday, thousands of citizens demonstrated in Tel Aviv against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, demanding the government to reach a new agreement with Palestinians. Demonstrators gathered near the headquarters of Israel's security ministry. They blamed the Prime Minister for delaying the hostage exchange operation, which would mean the start of a ceasefire in Gaza. According to local media, similar demonstrations took place at another 60 locations across Israel. Demonstrators demanded the resignation of the Prime Minister and the dissolution of his cabinet. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Welcome back. In Spain, Catalan parliamentary elections concluded with a turnout of more than 26.9%, a 4-point increase over the 2021 turnout. More than 5,700,000 Catalans went to the polls to participate in the Catalan parliamentary elections. More than 8,000 polling stations were set up to elect the 135 deputies who will make up the Parliament of Catalonia and were open until 8 o'clock in the afternoon local time. According to the authorities, the results will be announced in the hours following the closing of the polls. These elections were held under allegations of irregularities such as the theft of copper wire in the trains of Barcelona, which has delayed the movement of voters since the early hours of this Sunday. The new Ukrainian attack on Russia's Belgorod region leaves at least 19 people injured. According to local authorities, the Ukrainian attack targeted a 10-story residential building which was damaged. According to sources, minutes after the attack, the roof of the building collapsed, falling on rescuers who were carrying out rescue work. According to reports, more than 16 people have been rescued from inside the building so far, and search teams are continuing rescue efforts to pull out the victims trapped in the rubble. Meanwhile, in Sri Lanka, over 110,000 people have been arrested in an anti-drug operation launched last December. According to police spokesman Nihal Thaldua, a total of 111,074 people were arrested, of whom 4,472 are still in police custody. So far, the authorities have seized 41 kilos of heroin, 300,000 pills of synthetic drugs, plus illegal assets worth $4,315,000. Public Security Minister Tiran Ayes said that his raids will curtail the activity of criminal groups settled in the poorest neighborhoods. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro denounced an international media censorship against Venezuela.
I have been saying that it would seem this presidential campaign is an international issue. It would seem that it is the world's president being elected, and not the president of Venezuela. The U.S. imperialism is consumed in its desire to get its claws on Venezuela, because of the oil, the gas, the gold, the country's natural wealth. And to destroy Bolivar's revolution, Chávez's revolution, they have turned this presidential campaign into an issue of world significance. So we are being brutally censored. The economic blockade has become a social media blockade, so that the truth doesn't come out.
President Maduro denounced that the international media is not showing the reality of the country.
In the world, they are telling lies about us. They reference fake surveys, but they don't show the thousands of people in the streets and thousands working, demonstrating support. They do not show the reality of the economic recovery, the welfare, the peace, security Venezuela enjoys at present. They do not show that. We have a media wall. I have told people, and I think we are up to a good start, with a new system, which we call streets, networks, media and walls. I have told people that whatever you are doing, in the economy, an enterprise, a big neighborhood local march, anything, record it, in a video or a photo, very creative, upload it to all your WhatsApp groups. Because people have 20, 30 WhatsApp groups, and then have all WhatsApp groups uploading it to their social networks. And then at the local, regional, national level, let's go flood social networks with the truth about Venezuela. And that's how we are going to defeat and crush the blockade and censorship by these international social network companies.
To guarantee food for Venezuelan families, the Ministry of Agriculture is promoting a program of urban crops. The benchmark is the Bolivar 1 organic ponico, which has been operating in Caracas for 21 years. Our correspondent Roberto Hugo Presa visited the project and tells us how it works.
In the heart of Caracas, in the middle of the city, in a space of about 2,000 meters, the Organoponico Bolivar 1 operates. It is an emblematic project of urban agriculture, which was inaugurated by Commander Hugo Chavez in 2003 and which 21 years later is still bearing fruit.
Here we grow all kinds of crops and vegetables. From the moment of sowing, the seed, until the harvest. Every day we come to irrigate, we water all the plants, we do maintenance, we clean the weeds. We have this area of agriculture. We have the seedling house where the plants that you sow here come out of the seedling house.
Here they grow a variety of fruits, vegetables and greens under an agroecological system that guarantees toxic-free products. They run a nursery where they produce seeds and seedlings and generate organic fertilizer here, under the supervision of technicians from the Ministry of Urban Agriculture.
We have medicinal plants. We have mango, sarsop. We have aloe vera, oregano, oreganito. We have chili pepper, peppermint, basil. And we also have a crop sown with sunflowers that we mostly use as a live bar or color traps.
This urban crop, which uses a drip irrigation system and biological pest control, supplies the community with produce at low cost, but also provides plants and fertilizer for schools, communities and hospitals that grow food in their spaces.
The Organoponico Bolivar 1 teaches us that we get oxygen, plants, we teach how to get seeds, how to feed them, how to sow them, how to produce in any little piece of space whenever we want to.
This urban garden has become a model for teaching and guidance, especially for students, and provides work opportunities for older adults and people with disabilities.
I want people to come and teach these people, the children, the elderly, so that they can see, so that they can learn and so that they can do it at home when they have a backyard. And just as they learn here, they can do it at home.
The Ministry of Urban Agriculture plans to take the program to other regions of the country and create productive spaces for the benefit of Venezuelan families.
Roberto Hugo Presa, TeleSUR, Caracas, Venezuela.
We have a fun short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience. You can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin American and Caribbean as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with TeleSUR. Fun short break, don't go away. Welcome back. In Haiti, criminal elements broke into another police station in the community of Gracier, southeast of Port-au-Prince. The attack began Friday night. Despite attempts to defend the premises, officers had to abandon it due to the superior numbers and firepower of the attackers. In this sense, law enforcement agencies in Haiti called on the national government to address the insecurity crisis by providing law enforcement officers with the proper equipment. Haiti has been plunged into a political crisis since 2019, their height in 2021 with the assassination of former President Jovenel Moïse. Also in Haiti, citizens and police officers are demanding the resignation and arrest of the country's police chief following a new attack by criminal gangs against the city of Port-au-Prince. On Saturday morning, armed groups took control of yet another police station in the coastal community of Gracier, injuring civilians, burning vehicles and breaking into homes. The police union urged the newly installed President's Transitional Council to demand the resignation of the police chief and to order the prosecutor's office to launch an investigation into the violence sweeping the country. Also on Saturday, Cuba celebrated the 18th day against homophobia and transphobia with the purpose of promoting education and respect and non-discrimination. The traditional conga was held under the motto, "For all families, love is law." On this occasion, it is dedicated to the resistance of the Palestinian people and a call to revolutionary LGBTIQ+ militancy in Cuba. Members of the community emphasized that the conga has a political background in support of the Cuban Revolution against the blockade, and this year it is added in support of the Palestinian cause and against the Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people. The event will last until next Saturday, May 18th.
Love is law, regarding the rights of the LGBT people protected in the Constitution, the Family Code, and all the updates of the Cuban legal system. The Cuban people know that this is not only solved by law, the guarantee and the effective exercise of rights is also solved with education, with communication in this process of cultural transformations essential for the socialist transition. But something that especially distinguishes this conga and these celebrations is that LGBTQ+ revolutionary militancy in Cuba decided to be in open solidarity with the struggle of the Palestinian people, with their historical resistance, to speak out against the Holocaust, against the genocide perpetrated by imperialism through the Zionist regimes established in Israel and in the United States itself.
In Brazil, authorities issue a high hydrological and geological risk alert in Rio Grande do Sul for this Sunday, May 12th. Heavy rains could trigger landslides and floods that could occur throughout the Brazilian state. In view of this, the authorities ask citizens not to return to their homes, since forecasts foresee another cold front and the growth of a low-pressure area as a result of the storms. So far, the Brazilian government has registered around 618,000 people affected, 143 deaths, and more than 2 million citizens impacted by the climate crisis. We say in Brazil, authorities reported a tornado Saturday in the rural area of the Gentil municipality north of the state of Rio Grande do Sul. The weather event occurred as a result of heavy rains and isolated storms in the region, with wind speeds that reached up to 117 kilometers per hour. So far, authorities have not reported any fatalities or injuries, but significant damage to crops and fallen trees amidst the vegetation. And in Panama, the Hindu Ratha Yatra celebration was held in commemoration of Jagannatha God, whose name means Lord of the Universe. The Indian festival featured traditional Indian dance and music shows officiated by national and international groups. The festival included theater plays, talks, and other cultural activities. People attending festival activities are treated with typical Indian cuisine. The Ratha Yatra festivities celebrates the return of the Krishna god to Vrindavan, his childhood village.
Today is an important day where the entire Indian community in Panama, and not only in Panama, but from Colombia and Venezuela, they come here to celebrate the Indian festival called Ratha Yatra. People will accompany the floats to a place where they'd all pray, dance, and have some music, and then we will have an Indian cultural show. It is a way to bring the community together.
Panama has been a country of transit. We had the first railroad in the Americas, and that brought a lot of immigrants, which gave way to the melting pot that we are today. And the Indian community has historically participated, not only economically, but also culturally, as we have seen today at this festival.
We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.